a bit of a different video to normal because I've had a few requests to do this, and to be honest, it was a video that I did actually want to do myself, and it's a starting university advice kind of vlog. I went to university, in fact I was starting university this time 5 years ago, which makes me feel really old. And actually this year is a bit of a different year because it's actually the year that my sister goes to university as well, so she's going to Manchester, which is all like the whole family kind of going through it again. And yeah, so I thought that if I was going to do a vlog about kind of tips and advice on university, this year would be the best one to do it. So I'm just going to kind of talk through basically what I kind of went through and how I kind of dealt with things. And say for example, if maybe you are at university and you're kind of suffering from like homesickness, or you're starting university like either this weekend or next weekend and you kind of don't know what to expect, hopefully it may help out some of you in some way. Like even if it just kind of helps one person, that would be really cool, because when I went to university I wish that I'd gone online and looked at videos and blog posts, because it probably would have actually really helped me in the way that I was feeling. So let's start off with stuff to take. Now obviously I probably should have put this up like a couple of weeks ago when people kind of getting ready to go to uni, and I do kind of realise that probably most people are starting university either this weekend, or maybe they went last weekend, or maybe next weekend. So the whole 3 weekends probably people are going. So you've probably got everything already sorted and ready to go. What I will do is I will pop a previous blog post that I wrote a couple of years ago in the link bar down below. In that I have done a huge list of things that I would recommend bringing with you if you haven't got everything yet. Just some kind of like kitchen essentials like pots, pans, cutlery, plates. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Literally go to like Asda or Sainsbury's or Tesco and get all the basics. Just literally don't spend too much on anything because you will throw it out at the end of your first year, trust me. And then obviously you've got your bedroom stuff, so like bedding, I'd get a mattress protectant, obviously like yeah, bedding, duvets, if you want any accessories like ornaments, picture frames, I won't really get candles to be honest, basically just stuff like that. And obviously if you've got an ensuite bathroom, you know, towels and all that kind of stuff. So I will put all the links to like my blog post down below. Places that I would recommend looking at for nice home things if you're still looking, and they're quite cheap. IKEA is amazing obviously, Dunelm, The Range, where else is there? Tesco Direct. They're the kind of places that I kind of got a lot of my stuff from, that are all relatively cheap and don't break the bank. What I'd also recommend also getting ready before you go. When I was reading up on things to take to university with me, there was a lot of people saying, don't worry about your food shopping, just go food shopping when you get there. I personally would go against this because, especially in my situation, I was so glad that I did do my food shopping before, because everyone else had done their food shopping before. So if I'd have got there with no food, I probably would have been pretty snookered. And I lived, because I didn't really know where anything was, I was also quite a distance from the local supermarket, which meant I'd have to get the bus, and it probably just would have ended up being a bit awkward. So I would recommend taking stuff with you like bread, super noodles, pasta sauces, kind of stuff that's kind of not fresh, but stuff you can put in a cupboard and you can cook quite easily, like pot noodles, real healthy stuff. Get like a, you know, milk and like butter and cheese, and put it in a cool bag and put it in the fridge as soon as you get there, so you have got some fresh stuff too. But I would kind of just buy kind of cupboard stuff that's going to keep you going for a couple of days, crisps, that kind of stuff. And then when you kind of settled in like 2 to 3 days time, then kind of work out where your local supermarket is, maybe go with your flatmate or go with some other people that you've met, and try and make friends with someone who's got a car, and then they can take you there, which is always a good thing to do. And if you've got a car, you'll be very popular at university. So the next thing is about once you've actually got into your halls or your house or wherever you're living, and you kind of unpacked all the boxes, you've unpacked all your food, you're kind of ready to go and you've enrolled. And the next part is obviously when your parents come to say goodbye and you're left all on your own in your room by yourself, and it's a pretty scary feeling. Now obviously some people will not experience homesickness, which I just must say you are really lucky. I'm one of these people that is a complete and utter home bird. When I was little, I used to get homesick when I was at friends for sleepovers, and I think there was only a few select friends whose house I didn't feel homesick at. Most of the time I would fake an illness to try and get my dad to come pick me up, because I literally feel so homesick I couldn't sleep there, even though it was just for one night, which is pathetic. But that's just what I was like. So I think when I announced I wanted to go to university, everyone was like, yeah, she'll never stick it out, and I think that kind of made me determined to stick it out even more. I would say the first few days in particular were really hard for me, and I didn't quite anticipate exactly how homesick I would be. I think I went through a box of tissues in 24 hours and my nose was red from blowing my nose because I just cried, which is probably not the best thing to say, but I was literally I was really upset because I was completely kind of on my own. I didn't know what to do, and it was like a whole new city and experience, and obviously like I was on my own, didn't have any like friends with me, and I just kind of was a bit like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I think I called my mum and dad within the first 48 hours saying I want to come home, I don't like it, and they're like, no, you need to stick it out. Thankfully I did. But if you are like me and you suffer from homesickness, maybe you're suffering from homesickness right now, I just want to say that it does get better. Even though you feel like you are just never going to feel okay unless you're at home or with like your friends, your family, boyfriend, girlfriend, you feel like it's really hard to describe homesickness. It's like this horrible feeling in your tummy. You just feel really empty. Everything that reminds you of home makes you feel really sad. You kind of just want to be on your own, but if anything, I would say don't be on your own, because my university was a bit crap at organising stuff for the first week, and in the days we had nothing to do, which may seem like amazing, but in reality, when you're kind of settling into a new area, city, and you need to make friends and get out, being alone in your room is really the worst thing that you can possibly do. What I would say is, if you're in a situation like me, your university isn't organising a lot of things, try and be proactive and make plans either with your flatmates or people that you've met and say, should we go shopping, should we do something? Even if you go and just sit in their room with them, try and have company. Like, please don't sit in your room by yourself. Even if you do want to sit in your room by yourself, maybe watch some YouTube videos, Skype one of your friends. Like, don't sit on your own feeling sad. Like, try and talk to someone. Even like if you're feeling really brave, go and have a bit of an explore of where you're living by yourself. Go see maybe where the shops are, have a little bit of a shop around, like go to Boots or Superdrug and, you know, have a little bit of a shop and spend a little bit of that student loan. But I kind of made the mistake of the first couple of days, because there was nothing to do and no one really had any plans. I just sat in my room and I felt really lonely, and I think that's one of the worst things that you can possibly do. As soon as I started getting into my lessons and doing stuff, I felt a million times better. Like, honestly, I think my lessons started on the Thursday, and as soon as I started going to them and meeting more people and I actually had stuff to do, I honestly felt fine immediately. But if you're kind of sitting really wishing that you were at home, or thinking if you've made the right decision and that you miss home loads, just listen to me and when I say that it will get better, I absolutely promise you. So next is all about making friends, and some people may find it a bit awkward making friends because obviously you're kind of shoved into this new situation all by yourself and you're like, oh my god, I haven't got this safety blanket of my old friends, what do I do? And let me just say that everyone's probably feeling just as nervous as you are. There will be some really confident people that will making out that they are like super cool and super confident, but I will tell you that probably everyone's feeling just as nervous as you are, so don't kind of feel that you're the only one feeling that way. What I would recommend doing is when you move into your halls, depending on how many people live in your flat, just keep your door open the whole time. Obviously if you're getting changed and stuff, then close it, but you know, when you're unpacking, or maybe if you're just sitting on your computer or whatever, keep your door open, because people will walk past, they'll come in, say hello. If you need to walk past, if you're going to the kitchen or the toilet or whatever, go and pop in and say hello to people, even if it's just like a hi. Like, just be proactive and talk to people. If you kind of struggle to talk and don't want things to be awkward, try and think of really generic conversations to have. Asking people where they're from is always good. Asking people what they're studying is always a good thing. Asking people if they've kind of explored the city or they kind of know where's good to go out and eat, that's kind of a good thing to say. If you're in someone's room, kind of look around and clock what they've got. Say if they've got a One Direction poster, which they probably haven't, but say if they've got a One Direction poster, you could be like, oh, you've got a One Direction poster, do you like them? I like them. Kind of find something that you like oh, you've got this candle, do you know what I mean? Like, find something like that to kind of talk to them about. But yeah, it's just think of generic conversations in your head and things will just kick off. But yeah, just try and be like really friendly, put on like a confident Caroline, like make yourself feel like you're really confident, but don't hide away in your room and lock yourself away. That's literally the worst thing that you could ever do. Keep your door open, even if you don't want to be sociable, because I would just say in those first couple of weeks, make as many friends as you possibly can. Whether they're studying with you or whether they're in your halls or not, just make as many friends as possible, because It's never a bad thing to have loads of people to kind of hang out with, and as the months go on, you'll kind of get together your core group who you will kind of really enjoy spending time with, but it's great to kind of hang out with everyone to start off with. So next, let's talk about the actual studying part of university. What I would say is definitely try and attend all your lectures and all your seminars and workshops or whatever kind of classes you have. It's so tempting to think, oh, I'm just in my first year doesn't matter, let's skip some. I would just say try and go to everything. Of course, as maybe if there's a 9 AM lecture on one morning and you know the presentation will be online, you know, that's fine to miss out them. But I always kind of had the mindset that I'm paying a lot of money for my tuition fees, so I'm going to go and try and make the most out of it. Even if I really didn't want to, I would go out and push myself. Try and make sure that you get yourself acquainted with the library, know how it works, and just kind of as soon as you start asking to, like, you need to start reading books or get books for your course, try and get them out as soon as possible because they do go really, really quickly. If that does happen, try Google Books. You can find them on there, or maybe Amazon, and you can have them on your Kindle or download them on your iPad or your phone, because obviously we're getting a bit more digital these days. Google Books was like a lifesaver for me because that was amazing. Studying at uni is harder and it is different to kind of any other studying you've done before. I got a real shock, like they were saying all this terminology like Harvard referencing. When I went into it, I didn't know what like a 2-1 or a 2-2 was. I was like, what's going on? What I would also say is if you ever get the chance, this is more second and third year, to have a one-on-one tuition with your tutors, or if your tutors ever say don't hesitate to ask me for help, ask them for help. Like when I had one-on-one tuitions with them, they were so helpful for me and my work. So one more thing with the whole studying thing is that you will have to Harvard reference all your quotes, which is a real ball ache. I used a website called Neil's Toolbox, which hopefully still works now, and it kind of makes referencing so much easier. So there's a little tip for you to kind of make your life a little bit easier when it comes to essays and stuff. So the final thing is about drinking and hangovers, because it's pretty much what happens when you go to university, and it may be a bit of a shock to the system to some people, especially Freshers Week, because you're going out every single night and it's a bit like, whoa. I was already going out quite a lot by the time I went to university, so I was already quite used to like going out and drinking and that kind of stuff. So I knew exactly what kind of drinks I liked, what drinks not to mix. Obviously I was going to sound like a granny, but try to not mix your drinks because it will make you really, really sick. I never learnt from this lessons, and there is some days that I'm not really proud of, that I would lie in bed the whole day for the next day being sick into a bin because I was that hungover I couldn't get out of my bed to be sick. Like that is just not nice. That is the reason why I don't drink vodka anymore. My first year at university put me off this stuff for life. But yeah, I mean, just be careful. Obviously there's horrible people out there, without sounding like a granny. Please be aware of your drinks, and dodgy people, never get in a taxi by yourself, just saying. But yeah, just be really, really careful about drinking, and don't give in to peer pressure, because there's a lot of binge drinking that goes on and a lot of like drinking games, which is all great fun, but if you don't want to do something or you don't want to drink something, just say no. And the thing is, if you've got real friends, and say, you know, it's hard when you've only just met people, but people who are with you that don't care, they're the people you want to be with. The people that go in a mood about stuff like that are not the people you want to be hanging around with. So it's a good indicator of kind of characters. Don't feel peer pressured into anything. Say if there's a Freshers Week and there's a night that you don't want to go out on, and you know, I would say try and go out every single night, because that's what I did. And there was a couple of nights that like I came home at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, because me and my friends were like, we're really tired. You know, try and go out if you can, but if you really don't want to, just say no. It's, you know, it's not the end of the world. Go out on the big nights and, you know, save you money if you don't want to go out every single night. Hangovers is a different situation altogether, and if you've got a hangover and you're in a lecture, it's just not a good thing at all. What I would recommend doing is trying to eat before you go to bed. I always find that helps me with a hangover. Drink loads of water, stuff like orange juice is really good. A bottle of Lucozade is amazing for when you're hungover. Bottle of Lucozade always gets me through hungover and tired days. And greasy food, usually a KFC, will set you on your way. I also tend to find that indigestion tablets work for not being sick, so that's a little tip for you there. So if you're feeling a bit queasy, maybe get some like travel sickness or indigestion tablets, and they help with like the stomach acid, which is quite good, because there's nothing worse than sitting in a lecture theatre feeling like you are going to just throw up. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you'll get used to your hangovers, but if it's just kind of like that tired, groggy feeling that you get after being hungover, get some Lucozade, get some greasy food, and you'll be good to go. There we have it. There is some tips and advice on kind of starting university and like the beginning of it. If I haven't covered anything, because obviously there's such a wide range of subjects around this topic that I'm not really sure if I've covered everything that I should have done, but if I haven't, then either let me know in the comments down below or give me a tweet, which is probably easier because I reply quicker on Twitter. My username is @Dizzybrunette3, and if you've got any more questions, like ask me on there, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But if you are going to university, or if you were already there, I wish you all the best of luck. I wish I could go back to university, even though I never thought I'd say that. Although the work was really hard, it's a really nice lifestyle. I miss those afternoon naps and going out and being pretty carefree, and to be honest, I wish that I could go back sometimes, because when you finish you have to go and work, which is not fun at all. I hope that you all have a great time. I hope that you don't get too homesick and that everything works out okay. And yeah, I hope you'll have an amazing time at university and enjoy Freshers Week. It's a really, really fun time. So I hope this video was useful in some way. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And don't forget to let me know in the comments down below if there's any other videos you'd like to see me do next. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. I'm going to try and upload twice a week at the moment, which is good news. But yeah, I will see you in the next video.